We've got a juicy day here at the Heroes Global Championship. My name is Trixler, and I am joined once again by Caleris. Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. I'm very much so looking forward to today because we have big matches ahead of us that are going to spell the entirety of what's about to come for Katowice in Phase 1.
Yeah, we certainly do. Again, we are starting to be here in week 3. It's day 2, and things are just starting to heat up. And today, we're going to find out where our teams will be getting ready for the Clash in a few weeks. But let's look at the standings of where everyone currently is in the entire tournament here. So look at the very top, Expert and Misfits. We will be seeing both those teams today. Misfits has a chance here to cinch basically the chance to go to the Clash. Later on, we'll also hit up with Dignitas and Synergy as they'll be playing today. The very bottom, B-Genius and Trick Esport currently down 0-4. We did watch them yesterday. Unfortunately, they're rounding out the HGC, but still good games overall. But today, Misfits, man, they've got something that could really work out for them in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, today we're going to watch as 3 teams try and propel themselves towards that Clash.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very, very important. It's like the stepping stones for some of them, or for some of them just almost confirming what's about to come. We can elaborate on it a little bit more later.
Yeah, we'll check them out. For today, what can you expect here on this channel today? We have tons of wonderful matches for you to watch. Later on, Dignitas and Expert. This is probably the biggest match of the day in my book here, as this just is shaping up to be one of the best. Yeah, it certainly is. Later on, North America, we'll have Team Freedom and Team Naventic going at it, and then Tempa Storm and Team 8. But we start the day, we've been talking already, we are hyped, Caleris and I both, for Misfits taking on Synergy. Mostly because Misfits, although this would normally be a matchup where it's like, all right, Misfits has got this under the bag, it means a lot for them.
There's a big contrast between these two teams going into this series. For Team Misfits, this is their opportunity, as they are currently 3-0 in the league, for them to go 4-0 and then almost clinch themselves a guaranteed spot at Katowice down the line. So, of course, they've already taken out the big competitors throughout this Phase 1 so far, which is good for them. And then, of course, you've got Synergy on the other side, who are almost fighting for the exact opposite title, which is fighting for survival.
Yeah.
They need to get themselves wins on the board if they want to be in a position where they don't have to go into those crucible matches later on down the line. Of course, you know, it's very early days yet, but every single win is going to count.
A big matchup for both teams. Let's see what they think about today's match.
Это хорошего мили-кэрри, такого как Даркмок, одного из сильнейших в мире. Также они очень хорошо играют чизом, потому что у них есть такие игроки, как Хасуопс, которые играли до этого в StarCraft и очень хорошо контролят специфических героев, таких как Абатур, Викинги и прочее. А также у них очень сильный танк, Бламби, которым я считаю один из лучших тоже в мире. Топ-1, топ-2 по моей версии, так скажем.
Team Synergy, for me, this team has potential in a way that they have been in this scene for a long time, like many other players, and they have a lot of experience competitively. They have been to LAN events. They have strong players overall, and you should never underestimate them.
Misfits хорошая команда, мы давно знакомы, они проделали долгий путь и очень сильно подняли свой уровень игры и играют стабильно. Мне нравится очень сильно у них в команде Darkmok, я думаю, что он один из лучших милишников в Европе. Я думаю, что победить Misfits не надо будет сильно много напрягаться. Мы проиграли им всего-навсего 2-1, и то потому, что были новые команды. На протяжении лиги мы тоже поднимем свой уровень игры и составим им конкуренцию.
So the Russian team that qualified last, I think it's very healthy for their scene that they actually made it, that we have a full Russian team in the HGC. But it really comes down to if they find the synergy they need, because oftentimes the Russian teams, you know, they play a few games, they start to lose a bit, and then they argue, they fight, and I really hope these guys make it work. They have the synergy, and I think they're capable of upsetting good teams.
The elephant in the room, obviously, Synergy going to be having a hard time against the Misfits, but the problem is it might get a little bit harder. Power of Dream will not be playing today. Instead, we'll be having BKB subbing in for Synergy. How do you think that's going to work out?
Going to be interesting, actually.
Yeah.
BKB, a very well-known player in the European scene. Obviously, he's been on teams like Team Liquid. He was actually with Sevka way back when on Virtus Pro, etc. Very aggressive warrior. Very aggressive warrior. Maybe it can go well and kind of couple with the other members here of the roster. That's one thing to consider. Can you say BKB's full name? Like his full tag?
No.
No?
I can't. I'm not even going to try. But Kubla, that's all I got. I'm gonna go with
BKB
that way,
Greenwich
yeah.
Effect?
Okay, well, he's got it down. Let's see which battleground we're going to have this fight happening here on as we'll be moving in. I'm expecting a lot of Murden, though, because BKB, I remember his Murden always has been quite spicy.
Yeah.
So excited for that. Misfits will ban out. Braxis hold out on this side. Infernal Shrines will not be here for Synergy. And we are going to Towers of Doom for game number 1 between our two teams.
Yeah, so Towers of Doom... all right, so we're going to get into this problem in this series where Misfits comes in as the massive, massive favorite.
Yeah.
They're going to be strong on every single map. I feel that there's going to have to be some little bit of craziness coming out of Synergy or them taking to the map that they're not comfortable on. It will be a difficult task ahead here for, against a team that is a massive, massive powerhouse.
Well, while we're starting the draft here, let's talk about differences in play style. You look at Synergy, and I just see them as this incredibly aggressive early game. And you know what? I feel like they have 3 different layers. I'll name it a spice here. So in the very beginning, I feel like they're a ghost pepper. They're super aggressive, they're spicy, they're in your face. Around the mid game, they start to become more cayenne pepper. Sure, they're spicy, but you can handle it. And then around like the late game, they just become honey barbecue. Like they legitimately just lose all spice and fall apart and lose in the late game scenarios. And it happens time and time again. So Synergy, I need more from you in the late game in particular.
I want to know how long you've been thinking about this.
This morning, actually, it came to me. It came to me.
That's good.
So can they fix their honey barbecue and become more of a cayenne barbecue? We'll see. Synergy bans out Zeratul, Misfits bans out Tassadar. Dahaka will be the first pickup for Synergy. This is a great pick for them.
Yeah.
One, it gives them the rotations they want. We've seen BKB on it in the past. I kind of wonder if they pick Dahaka here just to get BKB in a comfortable spot and then look over to Misfits.
It's a good point. I mean, even since the very beginning of Dahaka being released, BKB was a big fan of this hero, even when it wasn't that strong for the most part. But on the other side, we're going to have Ragnaros and Malfurion coming in. Absolute 2 big, strong picks here. I like that they banned Zeratul because New York Zeratul has been very, very powerful in the past couple of series.
I like it too. And something to note is that Misfits, they get their comfort picks here in the HGC. Ragnaros and Malfurion has been by far the most picked for them, 7 and 6 play times throughout the last couple of weeks. So strong start for Misfits. You know they are smiling with that pickup.
It feels like for Misfits, there's a lot of priority on towards support and damage, less so Blumby's role. It feels like for Misfits, they don't mind what Blumby is on. They have a lot of confidence in him being able to play anything and make it work as long as they've got their strong picks behind that line.
Yeah, and the same can be said for Synergy with their support. They actually have not had a support that's been their mainstay.
Right.
They've had 4 different supports play 2 different times each already in the last couple weeks for the HGC, so you'll normally see Synergy wait for the support towards the end. Tychus and ETC will be picked up, so now we have our ETC, which is probably one of the most strongest powerhouses here in HGC Europe. I feel like we always see ETC in the mix-up, and he makes incredible plays for the team.
I'm wondering if Tychus has as much value against a team like Misfits than others, because Misfits is kind of the team at the moment that goes with less warriors at the moment, unless they end up with something like a Zarya in the hands of Hasuobs or something like that. They, compared to other teams in Europe, they feel a bit more warrior light.
Yeah. They definitely have more variety. Them and Fnatic play less warriors overall.
Yeah.
Misfits, even, their playstyle is more methodical. They wait and wait and wait. They actually have the 2nd highest average game length in all of HGC right now. I believe it's 20 minutes and 42 seconds, actually, because they do play these slow, methodical plays where they don't actually have to force anything ever. They get a kill usually in fights and take the advantage and move forward.
And it makes me then think, like, okay, it's more Synergy saying, we just don't want you to have Tychus against our double warrior lineup compared to we want to have Tychus against your heavy front line, because that doesn't happen as much.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's going to be Neon on the Tychus. I like him on Ling Ming more so most of the time, but this can work. So let's see what they're going to ban. I think maybe a warrior. We could go Diablo route, or what do you think? Anything?
Yeah, a Diablo ban could work here. In terms of tanks, all right, Dahaka's already out, ETC's out. Johanna could be a tool here. Zarya is banned out. A Misfits stay. I'm starting to think that is Synergy thinking about Abathur for just pure wave clear with the Zeratul ban for the #1. Granted, we had solid Zeratul play the first couple weeks from Misfits. But
Well, The answer to that is no now.
No, now, yes, with the false stat popping out.
Yeah.
I was wondering if they were going down that route, maybe wanting to get a 4th, 5th pick Abathur, just because Zeratul is one of those great heroes for just keeping Abathur at bay, but they also have Dahaka, so they have a lot of wave clear, and then they can just have a really strong front line with their Tygus and ETC. Regardless, with false stat being picked, I don't think we would even see an Abathur, as you mentioned. So Abathur, Li Ming, Malfurion, and Ragnaros for Misfits.
Yeah, I like the Zarya ban, considering what I said before, you know, about they'd normally go kind of light on warriors, apart from if they have a Zarya available to them on Hasuobs. But Misfits locked this in fast, and they've got so much punch behind this. I'm a little bit worried for Synergy now.
I wonder what their tank will be. They could go Diablo, but I could see a world with the roster they have here that they go a solo variant.
A solo variant?
Yeah, a solo variant. I could see it here. Just because Fall said here with the Mighty Gust, then you have your Li Ming set up, you have Malfurion with the Innervate on Li Ming to get that double burst down. We'll see here, as the choice will be here soon. Chromie, first time here on Towers of Doom in Europe. We'll be seeing the Chromie pickup from Synergy.
Okay, so I like that they're stepping into a position where it's not as normal for the European scene. Of course, you know, everybody in Europe, yeah, we've played against Chromie, that's fine, whatever. But this adds a bit more of that spice that you were talking about.
Yeah, they are definitely going full chili pepper here with the Chromie pick. Towers of Doom, in my personal opinion, I feel like this is actually Chromie's best map. I know we've seen her a lot on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it makes sense why. There's not much gank potential, but she can delay, similar to Stitches, the altar phases really well. You can put her in the top right corner, and you can leave that altar alone. She has 2 abilities that, one, you can't even see where it's landing, and the second one is a relatively easy poke because it's a low cooldown, so you can delay forever. So she can work out here. She can get you an early advantage. The problem that she has is that if you don't take forts in the mid to late game, you have no control of the battlefield, which means Chromie has no roam potential, which means you can get a pick off. But because they're so light on assassins here and health bars, Chromie can be very strong here.
Yeah, she can be. I like it. I actually like what Synergy's trying to do here. I think that going into a very even game with Misfits is just going to result in death. So
just destruction and carnage.
We may as well phrase it like that. Everybody out there knows how strong Misfits is. They are a world top contender. And likewise, we saw respect from Synergy when it came to the interview about how strong Misfits is. So I like that they're trying to throw something out a little more wild here.
Yeah, and it makes sense on this map, too.
Yeah.
Let us know. What do you think at home? The Chromie pick is here for Synergy. Hit us up on Twitter, Heroes Esports, and use that hashtag HGC, and we'll read your thoughts out loud. Make sure they're Chromie-based. Something about a dragon will make it definitely more possible to get on screen.
Time, anything.
Anything. Just
rewinding.
Hit the lore. It's Claris's favorite. He'll pick out the tweet, and we'll go from there. So, keys to victory. One thing that I really, really wanted to talk about when it comes to Synergy is they just need to embrace the underdog and change things up like no other. And they've done that here with the Chromie pick. I love it. Game number 1 coming out ready to go. Misfits on the other side, just be methodical. Be Misfits, which you've already alluded to. If they just play their normal game, they should be destructive. They have been absolutely amazing here in week 1 and week 2. They beat Fnatic already. They've beaten Fnatic, which we saw against other teams is destructive.
And they beat Team Dignitas 3-0 in their very first series of the tournament. They are in a position, Misfits, where, I mean, I feel that they're going to end up winning this series. A lot of people do out there. It could be a 3-0 once again. And at that point, if we get to talk to them, I want to ask them where they see themselves on world rankings right now. Because watching the top of Europe at the moment looks cleaner than the top of Korea.
It actually kind of does.
It's top of Korea is kind of crazy right now.
Yeah, it's a little more stompy, actually. I've been watching the matches here and there. There's some teams that are just clearly the best, and there's some teams that are like, okay, they've got some things to work on. Yeah, Europe right now, just the depth has been absolutely outstanding to watch.
Yeah.
So with it being Towers of Doom, on our first battleground here, who do you give the draft to?
Gotta go with Misfits. They've got so much punch behind this combo that they've got going. I mean, Ragnaros, Falstad, and Li Ming. That not only gives you great control of the battle when it comes to having something like Gust, but also just Li Ming probably in the hands of Hasuobs. I can't think of any other route. We'll see.
Yeah, remember that Li Ming on Sky Temple?
I mean, it could be Falstad that he's on and then just giving Nurok to Li Ming. But regardless, and then Dartmock on Ragnaros. He had a few mishaps in some of the games that we've watched him in. But other than that, it's Dartmock. And they said it in the interviews as well, did Synergy. He is one of the best melee assassins in the world when he's on point.
For me, I'm actually looking at Synergy. I'm in full fanboy mode.
Yeah, all right.
I'm in full fanboy mode right now.
I knew that this was going to happen.
I love me some Misfits, and I know that they are the best team here. We already talked about it. Like, it's all the elephant in the room. Synergy has no chance. But this draft gives me hope, and I love hope. I'm down to cheer for the underdog here. Dahaka, Chromie, they get map control. Murden gets melted by Tychus. They do have tools, and that's what makes me so excited for them, is they have a chance here to actually take this series. Let's go into game number 1, Towers of Doom. Misfits taking on Synergy.
All right, we start things off to the left-hand side in the blue, as it is Misfits here. Currently one of the top-ranking teams in Europe. Splendor is on the Malfurion. We will have Blumby rocking out with the Muradin. Next up, it's going to be Darmok on the Ragnaros. We will have Hasuops on the Falstad. And Li Ming will be played by Nurok. So, yeah, as I suspect, that little switch-up comes along.
But I miss the Hasuops leaving, man. It's so good. It's so good.
It's good.
To the far right, Synergy here. Team captain and support player Sepka will be on the Kerosene. Neon will show off that Chromester. Sir Ice Cream with the Tychus, and then Hydra here on the Dahaka. And actually, BKB will be playing the HGC. I was hoping to see his Dahaka play here, but a bit of a mix-up.
Yeah. So, and actually, I mean, I expected Neon to be on the Tychus up until the point where we did have that Chromie coming into play. So that is the switch there, because it's uncommon that we get to see Chromie coming out here. So Time Walker's Pursuit start things off for Chromie. Big potential in that talent, I feel. Ever since they changed it and combined 2 talents together, basically, it's got so much power behind the vision capabilities, as well as just that extra bit of mana and ability power later on.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup, and it's only 10 region globes, which you can get pretty well off in the early game. Usually can end it by 6 minutes if you're rotating well. At the same time, Kerosene to get Transcendence, which is a bit different from a lot of the sports we've been seeing in the past. So there will be a lot of punching here for Kerosene to get those heals for his teammates, which kind of indicates to me that maybe him and a Warrior will be going off to the Murking world and murking it up a lot during this matchup, which I think you need to do with a Chromie. The moment you start losing map control, she has a hard time.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that at the beginning when we actually saw it come in, but you're right on the point with that. She needs to stay about. Now, of course, the big difference with Chromie is her trait, which means that she gets her talents 2 levels ahead. So she will be gaining her power spikes a little bit earlier against these heroes, and as such already has bronze talons. So her auto attacks after going for that sand blast thing really hurt.
Yep, gives her lane control, gives her the ability to deal with her opponents in the way. Misfits and Synergy both start grabbing Mercs here in the early game. Already we have ETC and such on the right side for Synergy grabbing those mercenaries. Misfits on the left grabbing theirs as well. I like the positioning there of Darkmonk, by the way. In case an invade did occur, he was there to support his teammates, but he was out of vision so they wouldn't know and think they have a 3v3 instead of a potential 3v4.
Yep.
All right, altar spawn. 3 altars will be for the picking here. Watch Chromie. She should head to the top right and just delay that forever. Dahaka will be the surprise factor for Synergy.
I wonder if this is a slight adaptation from Misfits side. They've very barely even committed to the top shrines at all, knowing that this Chromie has a potential to be a bit of an irritant. So 3 towards the bottom, going up against 3. Blumby in a little bit of trouble. Manages to dwarf toss out of there. He doesn't have third wind, so he'll take a little longer to heal up and get back into the fight.
And Hydra rotates down with the Dahaka, and Sepka will grab the first altar space here. So we have 2 going to Synergy here, and this is to be expected with Chromie here. Oh, a drag on Hasuops. He will get picked. Sepka with the flying punch will secure a takedown.
Fantastic little drag there by Dahaka coming out. Those are the kind of plays you're going to need here against Misfits early on. I mean, a little bit uncharacteristic for a Falstad there to be caught out by that, but overall, that is a good start for Synergy.
That it is, and we get a slight experience lead because of that takedown on that spicy scale. I rate Trickster's Bowtie Jalapeno. That's what I'm talking about, man. Thank you, Pensive Goat, for the love. So into the matchup here. Obviously, the next stages are to just be setting yourself up as well as you can for the next altar phase. Generally, it's 2. Granted, it could be 1, but generally you see 2 pop up. So you grab mercenary camps as much as possible. But right now, the only one on the field is the one to the very north. So Synergy does begin grabbing it, but Misfits has scattered out here on the left.
Yeah, and this could be potentially stolen. It's 2 warriors against 2 damage dealers, and it's difficult for both ETC and Dahaka to get on towards Falstad, but they realized that a rotation was coming along, didn't want to stick around anytime, and will back off. I think, you know, it's fine. You don't want to be losing even just 1 hero for that camp at this point.
Yeah, gotta agree. Splendor will solo start the mercenaries on the left. You normally don't see a Malfurion going for the jungle, but also obviously knowing that 3 people are on the top lane, he will grab those for his teammates. Synergy actually didn't start their marks on the right, which gives Misfits a chance here to go for an invade. However, with Murden being in the middle lane and watched by Chromie here, that invade does not seem possible.
Yeah, I think at a top level here in Europe at the moment, Europe compared to other regions values these mercenary camps more than anywhere else.
I agree.
We're constantly just like, is it up? Okay, time to go and get it. Is it up? Time to go get it. Is it up? Time to go get it. Because they really provide so much power. And if you can get a tower or 2 in the early game, that's pushing you towards... Look at that stun!
Ooh.
Look at that stun by BKB! He stopped one of the sappers from getting towards there for damage.
Which is a turret taking less damage. Yeah, I agree with you. Those mercenaries scream, deal with me. You have to right now, or we will implode your front wall without any problems. That gives us an experience lead. Compared to Knights, you can leave for a little bit.
Exactly. Compared to those, you're almost always getting damage because it does happen so fast, because they do just explode and suicide on those walls. So it's difficult. There's a time trap, though, towards the bottom. They've got to be careful about getting caught in that here as they're putting pressure on towards BKB. He will slide through there. Ragnaros is caught in the thick of things. Dartmock will move away. No one dies just yet.
Solid damage there from both Hosswap on Nuruk, taking damage on BKB. However, with them not able to secure a kill, they do back away with Chromie. Chromie just brings so much slowdown potential. She just keeps sieging away constantly, and she starts chunking people. It can snowball quickly. So if you don't get that kill that Blumby went for, you saw Misfits just pull away because it's a smarter play instead of waiting it out and maybe losing something more.
And it's the combo Chromie. So it's Temporal Loop with, Daka falling towards the top. Good job by Hasuobs and Blumby. But now they've got to be careful. They've got to save cleanses or defensive cooldowns for that Temporal Loop when it does come in, for that blow potential with the Chromie.
Yeah, the main target, if there is a 5v5, will be Malfurion until level 13.
Yeah.
You hit that Temporal Loop, use that Dragon's Eye, and you make sure to follow up with that Deep Breath and get that damage in. Oh, I'm sorry, Dragon's Breath. Deep Breath is a level 1 talent. So go in for the damage and make sure to blow up that Malfurion, and you should be good to go. Neon in trouble, though, as Blumby and Hasuobs will apply some damage, and he is forced to retreat. Can I have that sound effect instead of the dings from now on?
Huh?
Can I have that sound effect
What,
instead
the
of ding? Boop, boop.
I'm okay with that one. Yeah. It's much more fun for little Chromie, especially when you end up with, like, running away from a situation, saving yourself, and then start shooting at them from across the wall.
I want that sound effect for both her Qs, and I want a sound effect for Murky's bubble. Whenever he goes in the bubble, boop from Kalaris. Ooh, Sulfur's smash hitting Sepka. He will survive here. 10-10 for both teams here. Falstad was actually ganked upon, but he flies to the middle lane, so nice heads-up play by Hasuobs, getting away from that engage.
That was actually a really good hit with the Sulfura Smash. Obviously, there was no more damage follow-up, so it wasn't going to get a kill, but it was still very accurate there from Dartmock.
Especially against a Karazim.
Yeah, dashing, dashing, dashing. Oh, hello. All right, they just need to back off from that.
The instant root. The altar spawning here in the next 30 seconds, but the power slide onto Dartmock, and he is gone. No longer in this world here. The 7-sided strike and damage applied. No more Ragnaros.
Yeah, that is difficult to deal with. Now, in just a moment's time, Chromie will get her level 13. This really depends. I hope it's reaching through time so she can just siege from the back. I know you don't hope it's that.
I'm not going to talk about it, but we all know what the best talent is at 11. But it will be timeout, actually.
It's neither of the ones we like. So Blumby now going to take some damage on towards the middle here. Time Trap's already down. So this is going to keep Chromie in a position where even she does get caught out, she has a long ice block.
Well, it's good for her because she doesn't have any mobility. So when Nurok ever comes in for a massive combo and he does get the flank on Chromie, she can negate one of the big powerful spells from an orb into a Q by popping that timeout. Also, just gives her tools for Murden as well. So I agree with the pickup. Reaching through time can be devastating on this map, but you really don't need that much more damage here. You have Chromie, you have Tychus, you have 7-sided strike. Stay alive. It's more important.
Yeah, all the much more range is, yeah, it's... I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Oh, that's a 7-sided on towards Dartmock, towards the bottom. He gets himself out of there with the blast wave. An attempt at locking down Dahaka there, but there's going to be the roots as Chromie does end up dying on that right-hand side there. 2 damage. They tried to temporal loop Malfurion, but while you're calling for that combo, you're so vulnerable as Chromie.
Yeah, Neon just experienced the power of globals against Chromie. Falsa just flew in right behind her, and you can't do anything. You just get poked down, there's a Q into the W, and you are dead. 2 members falling here for Synergy. Misfits will be able to take a couple of shots here on this fort.
And this is where it now gets scary, because Misfits could quite easily camp this bell tower location and then really cause Synergy some problems. Yes, currently Synergy is up in terms of shots, but it is very difficult to now break out of this location. The one thing that they have going for them is they hope Chromie can do enough damage to eventually push them off this spot, because she's free to do the damage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She has to hit a few shots here from the side. A couple shots did go on. 3 will connect with the core, 29 to 24. One of the best things Synergy does have for them here is they can put Dahaka and HGC in the mid and the top lane, soak the experience, and try to get pushing back while Neon and Tychus just kind of siege on this fort and slowly break it down. And then if there's ever an overstep from Misfits, they can engage. However, BKB is down here for the moment to help with this fight, and you see Misfit just holding the fort. This is the best thing you can do, as Claris was talking about earlier.
So the one tool that they've got available to them for Synergy is Dahaka. He's soaking up towards the top, and he can reinforce his location if needs be at a moment's notice. They probably have to rival that bottom shrine. They're not gonna, though.
No, they're gonna go for a boss rush instead here.
Okay.
Which, when you have a Karazim, is one of the things that you can do well, as you're able to get heals out of that, and they rushed for it. They left Chromie down there to poke a couple times, so some of the compounding Aethers were moving over and connecting, and so Misfits assumed, okay, maybe they're still down here, but the sneak will occur here. Blumby does scout it out, but a second too late. Power slide into 7-sided strike, into Tychus damage, into a kill here from Synergy.
All right. Oh!
She didn't see that coming.
Wait, ETC gonna dive in as well. Look for some damage here, but BKB going a little bit far. Here comes Hydra too. So they've got themselves the 2 globals to try and get them Warriors in a good position. Poor Chromie, man.
Yeah.
Sulfuris is as big as she is. Yeah. That must be painful.
Do you think she kind of hoped that she came into the game as a dragon at that point?
Yeah.
Instead of a little gnome?
I mean, she's a... I can't even recall if you ever see her in dragon form, but she's a big dragon. So, yeah. Sorry, Sulfuris, Hand of Ragnaros is going to come down and make your day a bad day.
Well, that kill was impressive. There is no real major advantage here for Synergy, or for Misfits. They didn't really push anything. They tried to go to the mercenary camps, but BKB was able to take that away with the full-on evade, and now Chromie has spawned. The altar phase has already gone through. So it would have been nice for them after getting that Chromie kill to maybe grab another fort or such, but they just didn't have many things available to them on the battleground, as the big, I guess, power spike of the battleground just went through with the boss being taken and the altars. So now we are kind of in a tie game right now.
Yeah.
Synergy has just got their level Chromie talent here at 14, so she has more damage after using her Q, so that's going to be solid for her. And here is the 3 altar spawn, which is where Synergy has the tools to be successful. Let's see if they can actually approach this appropriately and set themselves up.
Absolutely. They've got a lot of potential for that poke. They're going to gust away Sir Ice Cream to one stop. Here comes the jump on towards Splendor. Is he going to stay alive? The hacker's already gone down towards the top, as BKB just has to retreat. That 7-sided strike did a lot of damage there for the moment, but Sevco wasn't in a position where he could follow anything up with his team. And Dartmock looking to try and push away this. There goes the Twilight Dream, and looks like they will kill off Odin. Tychus goes down, and Synergy have to back off once again.
Yeah, that was simply just better played by Misfits. Synergy's actually had a really good setup to kill off the Malfurion, but the Sulfuris smash and the pull on the Dahaka was just too much. And then afterwards, Neon actually didn't hit any of his Qs, so there was no damage going out except for Tychus, and that was Misfits cleaning up everything here. And they're looking to maybe take all 3 altars with Ragnaros in the bottom left and 4 members in the top right.
Now, Dahaka, when he died, did not pop adaptation, so he still has it available to him. They technically could have tried to get onto that good block, though. It makes me wonder if the piercing shot on the Sandblast would have been a better choice if they wanted to go for delay on tributes, but it sacrifices quite a bit of damage for your auto attack, right?
Yeah, he just loses so much on Bronze Talons. The good thing about Bronze Talons is if you're missing your Qs, you're at least getting some damage in. But the Piercing Sand in that scenario, in that small niche of a moment, yes, would have been a better pick. Unfortunately, just did not work out here for Synergy as they fall 20-9. This is that late game I was telling you about, man. We're going to full honey barbecue mode here as the push from Misfits is just getting too powerful. 20-9 in terms of shots. Dahaka trying to push in the top left and grab some experience, but BKB has been engaged upon. Sulfuris Smash comes out, and that is a dead cow.
Nero looking for kills. He actually goes for combos. That's double Calamity on towards the targets that they were looking for, and now that goes down. It feels like they've got no value, really, off the Chromie, I'll be honest. I mean, let's take a look at the damage numbers for a second. So she's done like 21,000 compared to Leeming on the other side that's done 40,000. So the temporal loop combos haven't really hit the mark, unfortunately, because they've just not had room to. Misfits just keeps exerting pressure on towards that backline every time Chromie finds a position where she could try to do that.
Yeah, the thing is, too, is Chromie's normally really good at inflating numbers. That being 21K is incredibly low.
Yeah, it is pretty low, yeah.
It's pretty low, especially with just what Chromie can do in terms of just random shots in their queue. So we'll see if they can make a comeback here, but it's definitely becoming very, very difficult for Synergy at the moment.
Those numbers become even more inflated, like when she got that little rework, when Time Walker's Pursuit changed, the fact that she has more mana behind her. Before that, those numbers I would say weren't as inflated, but now they get even more so because she just never runs out of mana. It feels.
Well, Ragnaros is full of fire here as he's gonna go into Molten Core. Alfira Smash once again. These are just connecting left and right on Synergy. BKB low on health. Might get sniped here. We're watching.
Oh!
There it is, and Dark Mog will secure the kill. And we have a few of these sappers pushing in. Can one connect with the core? Seven-sided strike has been popped. Hasuops is low, is able to get away. They do save the one lone sapper from doing damage, but they did have to burn seven-sided strike.
All right, so temporal loop on towards Blumbit, but cleansed and runs away. It's the saddest feeling as a Chromie when that cleanse comes out.
Especially with the sound effect of like it's building up to this big climax and it never happens. It's so unfortunate. More poke occurring once again here for Neon in the bottom right. There are two ultras up. If Misfits grabs both, they will secure the victory. Synergy has to fight. Here comes Hydra from the top left. He still has his drag available. Sepka on the right as well. We just now get HGC spawning, so he will be able to stage dive in. Here comes Hasuops from the side.
Yeah, he could easily take out Odin here quite quickly, as that's a lot of damage going down. Sepka very, very low as well. Sir Ice Cream about to die as big damage coming into the middle of this. 3 end up falling, and that is going to be a proper combo here on towards Neon as well. It's a team wipe. Misfits will march on. Game number 1 goes over to the best.
Apparently Star Wars was incorrect. A New Hope. Hope cannot win here.
Sorry, man.
When it comes against Misfits, they're officially the dark side, and they dominate way too much. And game number 1 here on Towers of Doom. I will say, the early game I thought was okay for a little bit for Synergy, but you just see the Misfits with their methodical control of gameplay.
Yeah.
They're just too good.
Yeah, it's difficult to go up against them, even in those kinds of situations where you do throw that little bit of a wild card their way. It really didn't pay off, unfortunately. They know exactly how to deal with it.
All right, well, we'll be right back with game number 2. Misfits and Synergy going at it.